If you've ever left an event super jazzed and have so many goals and intentions for post event, and then a day or a week or a month passes and the motivation has completely dissolved and you wonder where it went? Well, today I'm going to share with you why that happens and what you can do about it. Plus, I'm going to be sharing my top 3 takeaways from a virtual event I attended last weekend called Live Your Message. Are you ready to dive in? Hi there, I'm Young Pratt. I'm an embodied success coach here at Illuminating You Productions. I help business owners who are stuck in cycles of overwhelm, indecision, and anxiety really break that cycle so that they can really have their businesses be a reflection of who they truly are on the inside. And we help wellness professionals, those people who help other people feel better inside or out. I am so glad you are joining me live today or watching the replay because this idea about the motivation, the momentum you have at an event that you think is going to last you for a long time and why it doesn't and how you can remedy that. So, I want to first start by asking if this is the first time you are joining me live, just put first time in the comments below this video. If you are a repeat watcher or you're watching the replay, let me know that as well. I'm here to share with you my biggest takeaways from this event. And I'm going to break them down first. I'll tell you what these 3 things are, and then I'm going to go into more detail because for me, just to tell you information is not enough. I'm really about the embodiment, the integration of information, which helps us to maintain the motivation. That's a key to what helps us in the end after an event. So let me just quickly go through my top 3 takeaways and I'll break these down for you. All right, takeaway number 1. You're on the wrong stage for your stage of business. Number 2, this is a biggie. You are further along than you probably think you are. And number 3, the most important piece of this is to take not just any kind of action, but aligned action. And of course, I'm going to distill each of these down for you so they become real and tangible for you. And I want to make this not just me talking at you. I would love for your feedback throughout this video. So please feel free to join me in the chat, ask questions. If I don't get to your question during our time live, I will for sure come back and answer them after I have gone live because there is a lot that I want to cover and I want to make sure that I'm being really respectful of your time because you are watching this video, investing your time with me. So let's dive in to number 1, the wrong stage for the wrong stage of your business. And if you see me looking away, looking down, I have notes for today. I wanted to make sure I kept myself on track, on point, so that we could really be most efficient with our time together. All right, so building a business on the wrong stage. So I want you to think about your business as a production that you're going to put on an actual stage. And you want it to be a reflection of you, the creator of this production. So the first time you step onto the stage as a new business owner or one that's been in business for a short time, you're probably not going to get up on that stage in that spotlight and be able to share the full masterpiece that you know you can create. Instead, you're going to be able to share probably some highlights of what you want to create. You could cast the vision for what you want to create and what your masterpiece will look like when it's built. However, you're probably not going to do it on the stage in front of tens of thousands of people. You're probably going to share these smaller pieces in your backyard, in your living room, at a social event. It's going to be on a much smaller stage because that is where you are in your business. Now, I want you to be really clear about something. When I talk about being on the wrong stage at the wrong time for your business, I'm not talking about not dreaming about what that stage looks like, right? I'm all about the big vision, the big dream. What I'm saying here is that at each stage of your business, there are different things to focus on to get you where you want to go. Now, I would love to know in the comments, have you ever been told to just build an email list? Have you ever been told to just build another funnel because you're just one away? Have you ever been told to automate everything in your business? Right? And I'm speaking from experience here. So everything that I share here at Illuminating You Productions is about the experience that I've had, what I've learned, and how you can jump over those same hurdles that I fell into when I had to deal with them. So yes, if you look at the business world as a whole, there are a lot of people who say, just follow my 5 steps. If you do these 3 things, you are going to get success. If you just do this roadmap, you can build a 6-figure business. And while I do feel that those things have a time and a place as well, most of them are speaking to the business you ultimately want to build and what you need to run that business, to sustain it, to grow it, to have it be the success that you want it to be, versus the stage where you are now. And the biggest key here that I really had to think about myself in my 20 plus years as an entrepreneur was that so many times in my business, I was literally standing on my stage and building things for the stage I wanted to be at miles and miles away, right? There was a match to what I was building now to what I wanted to build then, because we have to do it in steps. And sometimes we have to do the things that are not always fun, that are not always sexy, yet they're the things we need to create and put in place so that the foundation of our business can be sustained when people start really flooding into our businesses, right? The big dream. We want lots of people to experience what we're offering. In order to get to that big stage, to do your masterpiece, you do have to put things in place. So for me right now, my business has been around for a little more than a year in this iteration, maybe a year and a half or so. It looks different than when I first started. And the one thing that I've been missing, that I have been neglecting, is the one thing most of us neglect because it's the thing that feels the scariest. And this thing is, are you ready for it? The most important piece at any stage of your business, but really at the beginning, especially when you're first starting or you're relatively new, is to talk to people, right? In order to build that masterpiece, we need to make sure that we know who we are serving, the problem that we're solving, and we want to ensure that what we want to create actually is something others need and want versus something we think they need and want, right? There's a distinct difference between what people actually need and want versus what we want, right? Or what we think we need and that they need. Right? So we have to be able to bridge that gap. And we do that by talking to people. Now, this is the scariest part, of course, because a lot of fears come up when we start talking about what it is we do and what it is we offer. We tend to be afraid of judgment or what we perceive other people are going to think about us when we offer and share these things, right? There's a lot of fear around that. Is it going to be good enough? Will people like it? Will people like me? Right? There's a lot of fear wrapped up in talking to people and making it real. So my challenge for you on this one, my invitation for you, is to start talking to more people. To put this into context, my intention is to talk to at least 3 to 5 people each week. Now, these could be clients, and ideally they are clients and people you run into, people you haven't seen for a while, people that you want to just share about. You get into a conversation, inevitably people ask you what you do, and this is the perfect time to strike up a conversation about what is it that you do. right? We help people to embody their human design, their energetic blueprint, so that they can build a business that is a true reflection of who they are on the inside versus what other people have told them their business could and should look like, right? We really are big into the embodiment portion of human design. And this is interesting because, especially in my particular field, in the world of human design, there aren't a lot of people who know about it. So it's a beautiful invitation for me if they ask, or say, hey, tell me more. I don't know what that is. It's an invitation to me to be able to share my passion, my joy with them, right? And this is an invitation for you as well to share more of your joy, share more of your passion, share more of what you want to create, even though where you are now is not where you want to go. But we really need to be really present in where we are and the things we need to do to grow our business. So for a business to be sustainable, it needs to have people coming into the business, right? So that means talking to more people. So this is just me inviting you to talk to more people this week. Let me know in the comments below also how many people you're going to commit to talking to this week and every week. Okay, moving on to step or takeaway number 2. And this is a really big one. And this one hit home in a really profound way for me this past weekend. So in the fall, I did a program with Marisa Murgatroyd, who was the creator of the Live Your Message live event that I just attended, right? I wanted to go in and create some experiences, not just courses that people shelve, not just things that are full of information people can go to the internet for. I really wanted to be able to create experiences to give people really big breakthroughs and really big transformations. So in the process of going through this program with her, I had an idea for what I wanted to create. And I really had a big download. And what came through was this beautiful, integrated whole program, which is not typically how I receive downloads, right? This big, beautiful program. And then when I was talking to my coach about this program, he invited me to really reflect on, does this program in this form serve your mission of wanting to help people have transformations, to help them embody and integrate their human design, or is it really about just giving them more information? And I really got kind of defensive about it, right? Because it was my baby. I had created this thing. We all tend to do that. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought, oh my gosh, yes, he saw a blind spot that I couldn't see for myself, right? Which is why having someone in your life to support you, even just to be a sounding board for you, is really important, because we don't see our blind spots always, right? Or we don't always see our gifts. So having other people really feed into us is super, super critical. So as I reflected on this bigger program, he and I were able to iterate back and forth. And by the end of it, I was able to create the program, the experience that I am currently guiding women through now, called the Embodied Success Solution. Had I really just taken a running leap and offered the program in the way that I came through first, my participants wouldn't really be getting any of the breakthroughs that I know they're getting right now, because it was too much information. And again, I'm about integration and embodiment. When you know more about yourself, that's one thing. But when you know about yourself and it becomes part of who you be in the world, that is my sweet spot, to help you get there, to be the most radiant version of you that you can be, so that your business is a reflection of that radiance. So as I went through and looked at my notes, I realized there was a lot of gold in there. And back in the days when I was a content strategist and repurposing strategist, I talked a lot about having a content gold mine. And if you have been in business for any length of time, I know you have created so many things, right? Those things could be content for your website. They could be brochures. They could be business cards. They could be blog posts. They could be videos, podcasts, books, you name it, right? As business owners, collectively, we tend to create a lot of things, right? We have a lot of ideas and we want to create things around these big ideas. And that is awesome. What happens so often, though, is that we tend to create, and never get off this cycle of creation, right? What I'm inviting you to do now is to take some time this week. Sift through all of your stuff, your content, because there's probably something in there that you could share again, right? The life of a social media post, for instance, is very short. Can you share something you shared 6 months ago? Absolutely, right? And if you're someone who's thinking, awesome, I have created a lot of stuff, however, I don't really have it all in one place, I want you to message me and let me know you want to hear more about that, because that is part of what I did as a content strategist, right? In helping people really be wise about their content so they weren't always creating. They could actually take a breather and step away from creating and let their content really speak for them and represent them online, right? So that is what I've discovered, is that because you have all of this, if you were to reflect on it, take some time and look at it, you're likely to discover that you're further along than you think you are. What I found when I looked back through my iterations of this program is that the big program I thought I was going to offer in the beginning is actually going to be my next thing, my next 3 things actually that I'm going to be offering on my business roadmap. And even some of the names that I brainstormed with my coach that I thought I was going to call my program right now ended up being names that I'm going to be using on this roadmap. And actually, the name that stuck out to me, I thought it was going to be something else. I didn't know what it was. I just jotted it down and it really resonated, was to live your heart song. That message for me now is my brand promise. That is ultimately, at the end of the day, what we do for people. We allow people to live out the song they have on their hearts fully, radiantly, and confidently, right? So there's a lot of gold in your content goldmine. Please go back and take a look. Let yourself be in awe of you, because you as the creator did that. And that is something to absolutely be so proud of yourself for doing. Now, and that brings me to the third takeaway. And this is a really interesting one. I'll break this down in a couple ways. It's not the amount of action you take. It's the amount of aligned action you take. Now, so many business owners get caught up in this cycle of being overwhelmed, analysis paralysis, not being able to make decisions, and really just feeling stuck, because as business owners, we're bombarded with all these messages saying, you need to do this, you need to build this, start here, do this. There are so many things we think we need to do, or we're told that we need to do. The question is, are they relevant to where you are on your stage in business now? Or are they going to be things you'll build eventually as your stage gets bigger and you get closer to that big masterpiece stage we talked about in the beginning, right? Aligned action. Now, so much of aligned action also boils down to something that I'm really passionate about, and you've heard me say it several times in this live stream, and that is human design. Taking aligned action means you are taking action in a way from a place that feels good to you. You're not trying to fit who you are and how you are into someone else's framework or blueprint. You're doing things and taking action in a way that supports you, not that frustrates you. And again, there's a very fine line between those things sometimes. This is really about you getting to know you and the way that you work best. It's really about being able to be very wise about your energy. And in human design, it's all about your energy blueprint. In your human design, there are clues for you on how to best use your energy. For instance, I'll give you an example. In the world of human design, I am a projector, also known as an orchestrator in quantum human design, the field that I specialize in. Now, as an orchestrator, I'm not here to work in the traditional sense. I'm not the worker bee. And when I discovered this, I thought, well, that makes no sense because all I've been doing for all these years is going, hustling. And then I wondered why I was always exhausted and why I reached burnout several times. All of these little things that I'm sharing with you are evident once I started to really dive into my human design and really start to integrate it and then embody it, because that's the sweet spot. Information is one thing. Integration of the information, knowing information is one thing. Integrating it and embodying it are completely different realms of possibility for you. So when I learned that I wasn't meant to be this worker bee, it took a lot of pressure off. My role as an orchestrator really is to guide and manage energy and to see the potential and the possibility in things and people. So for instance, when I go to a virtual event or a live event, because of the way my chart is designed, I can take in a lot of information from other people, a lot of energy, especially the doing kind of energy from other people. So in that arena, I have superpowers. I can go and do. And then when I leave, I used to wonder why I would get so exhausted. Literally, like I didn't want to get out of bed because I was so tired. It's because not only do we take in energy from other people, we actually can amplify that energy for a short time, right? And this leads me directly into why this happens, that you lose motivation, you lose your drive after you leave an event. It's because you've taken in all this energy from others. And if you don't know how to get rid of it, how to harness it for your advantage, and really what to do with that energy, it can be really exhausting and really shut you down and stop you in your tracks, taking away your motivation. And this really has nothing to do with leaning into willpower. That's a whole separate topic. This really is about getting wise about the best ways for you to lean into using your energy, which is why I'm so passionate about the embodiment piece, because when we start to embody our energetic blueprint, when we get wise about using our energy properly to support us rather than exhaust us, it is a total game changer. Now, I would invite you, if you're at all interested in how do you harness this blueprint, what is this blueprint, what is human design, and how can I use it for myself in my business? I invite you to pop the word design under this video, whether you are watching the live or the replay. When you do that, I will reach out to you personally and schedule a time for us to get to know one another, to chat a little bit about what it is you are wanting to do in your life and how human design and human design embodiment can help you get to where you want to go and to build the successful business you know you're capable of building, yet you find yourself somehow stuck on how to get there, right? I would love to be your guide and walk with you on this adventure, because it really is such a huge adventure. It's such an opportunity for you to know not only yourself, but how you are able to be in respect to others, how to use your energy when you are alone versus how to use your energy when you are with others. And the strategies and the ways that that happens and unfolds with human design is unique to you. It is such a beautiful thing. There are no cookie cutter recipes here. There's no step-by-step, paint by number ways to build your business. This, my friend, is all about how can you take what you already know about yourself. You know these things subconsciously. Your soul knows these things about you. It's time to bring that into your consciousness and live that out so that you can build a business that is a true reflection of your most aligned and radiant self. And with that, my friends, I want to thank you for spending time with me today, for sticking around to find out my 3 biggest takeaways from Marisa Murgatroyd's Live Your Message Live event. And just to recap before we wrap the video, number 1 was wrong stage, wrong time. Number 2 was you're further ahead than you think you are. And number 3, it's not about taking action in your business. It is about taking aligned action. And if you are wanting to take more aligned action, pop the word design under this video. I'm happy to reach out to you. People are my jam. I love connecting and building relationships with people, and I would love to build one with you. Just pop the word design and I'll reach out to you. With all that being said, it has been my absolute joy and honor to be with you here today. I invite you to go out there today and be more you. Cheers.